This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the cartoon, The Inhumanoids, the evil that lies within.
Was solid.
Thank you. Joel, this cartoon's got a pretty rare claim to fame, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, what is its claim to fame, Andrew?
It's not really okay, it's not a claim to fame, it's just something different. This show is named after the villains.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat.
Yeah,
I thought.
It's weird because you just would not expect that from a cartoon from the 80s to be like,
yeah, that's true.
We're really going to just focus kind of on the story of the villains and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. It's
I think it's because the heroes have a really lame name.
Oh yeah. What, like Earth?
And we'll get into
Earth
that.
Defenders or something?
No, they're the Earth Corps, which sounds like a white woman with dreads playlist on Spotify. You heard it here first.
I know.
But speaking of playlist in music, let's review that theme song.
Let's hit it.
Inhumanoids, Inhumanoids,
the evil that lies within. From down in the fiery depths of the earth where nightmares begin.
Inhumanoids, Inhumanoids,
the evil that lies within.
That's it.
Yep.
Short and sweet, man.
There you go. Short and sweet and still bad.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to give it a 5, though.
I was going to give it a 4.
I think I like the fact that it's like 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. It's what I expect from a like Saturday morning cartoon, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. It's very by the numbers.
Yeah, but still not a good one. Just it's like, okay, this is what I expect.
Yeah, it's as expected, but just because you're as expected doesn't mean you're good.
No.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. But not too shabby.
So Joel, how did this show get made?
Yes, Andrew. So we got to talk about the Inhumanoids here. It is a Reagan show. I mean, if any show from the 80s, you've got like a 90% chance that it's going to be a Reagan show.
You know what I just learned, speaking of Ronald Reagan? So, you know how McDonald's and other fast food places, they look more corporate-y?
Yep.
They're not allowed to be built to be appealing to children.
Oh.
So that's why they look like that now. So that's why you have a more mature take on McDonald's.
I did not know that.
And why they're all big gray buildings. There's more to it than that, but I guess that's been a fairly recent thing that these fast food chains are allowed to. They'd be like, hey kids, stuff your face with burgers.
I'm going to blame Michelle Obama.
Anymore.
That's who I'm going to blame for
there
that.
You go. If we were a food podcast, that would be, we could call it a Michelle episode, a Michelle restaurant.
I was about to say, if you listen to all the bonus stuff on our Patreon, it almost sounds like we are a food podcast sometimes. With the amount of food
that is what we mostly talk about in the extra content, is the food that we eat and that we love.
All right, so Andrew, this show, basically Hasbro coming off of the heels of, things like G.I. Joe, Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to sell more toys.
Of course.
Of course. So it kind of started out with a script called The Force of Light. Now, this script was written by Tom DeFalco, who was like a writer. He worked for Marvel Comics. Big dude over there. Okay?
Okay.
He comes up with this script. It was kind of about, aliens coming to Earth through meteorites hitting the Earth and, basically a team who defends the Earth. Okay? Well, Hasbro, working with Sunbow Productions and the actual creators of Sunbow Productions, Tom Griffin and Joe Pakal, they hired a gentleman by the name of Flint Dilley, who had previously worked on Transformers and G.I. Joe, to take the Force of Light script and tweak it some. So that's what Flint Dilley did. He tweaks it to basically get what the Inhumanoids are right now.
Okay.
Okay. It actually aired a part of, what was it? I think ABC's Super Sunday or Super Saturday.
Sunday.
Yeah. It aired with... It's funny because we've actually covered almost all of these shows now.
We have. After this one, there's one left.
It aired with Jim and the Holograms, Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines, and Robotics. Basically, when Super Sunday was airing, for no one who knows what that is, Super Sunday was just a collection of 4 short cartoons, each episode being about 6 to 7 minutes. And it was a way for them to just test the waters, to see what show would gain enough attention, and then they would get greenlit for like a full-fledged season.
Right.
Jim and the Holograms being the biggest one out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one being the second.
Yes, because they immediately was just like, hey, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a season. So it
was a very much easy bake oven, creepy crawlers cooker situation. Jim and the Holograms was killing it because of the girls. And then Inhumanoids was definitely killing it because of the boys.
Oh yeah, 100%. There was nothing for the ladies.
No, this is a boy show. It has a lady in it. But so Jim and the Holograms had one man, so it works out. It evens out.
You got to have that even balance.
There you go.
They had 15 of these short segments on the Super Sunday block. So when the show got approved for its full series, what they did was they basically took all 15 segments of that and they made it into a movie to send out on VHS so people could get, they'll, I guess, get into it more. I don't know why they would do that, but that's what they did.
Just thinking about how just a very few short years ago, to promote something, they would send you a VHS in the mail.
Crazy.
This was like 86, so like 40 years ago. Little, but still, like that's like somebody from the 80s being like, hey, they used to send pigeons to carry messages, right? To promote the next play on fucking radio show.
To promote the next play. Margaret, have you heard?
Have you seen the latest from the pigeons. They say a play is going to come to the local theater. We must see
go.
it post haste. Just stuff like that. But this was that to me. That's insane.
Yeah,
Technology,
it is.
man, it be growing.
But they,
Be
of
growing
course,
in ways you can't possibly understand.
the series, the first 5 episodes of the series is just what was shown on Super Sunday.
Yeah.
And then they wrote 8 additional episodes for the rest of the series, coming in at a total of 13 episodes. And that was it.
And that was that.
There was one thing I found very interesting about this. This series was actually directed, the target audience were for kids in the age range below what they was targeting in G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Really?
Yes, for this show.
Seems kind of dark.
Feels like they should have went up an age range, if anything.
Especially with one of the main Inhumanoids. Like if he touches you, he turns you into a fucking zombie or whatever.
Because I remember watching Transformers when I was like 5. So like, are they targeting for like 3-year-old kids?
I think now Transformers was for the more
like
a 13 to 18 market.
Okay.
So this would probably be more like 10 and below. But
still,
even then, this is a lot to throw at a young child.
there was no kid, because the thing about this is they really, like, Hasbro and them did not care about the story. They only cared about selling the merchandise. So when they turned over, hey, come up with this cartoon over to Sunbow and, Flint Dille.
Yeah.
These writers, they took it upon themselves to write a story that wouldn't be like, hey, every episode is going to be different. You're actually going to have an anthology in these episodes. There are going to be, a cohesive story from episode to episode, building off of one another. That's not for little kids.
No, not at all.
You need like 15 and up. I feel like this would be the best range for, like, I call it the 13 to 18 crowd. Perfect for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Andrew, that's it. Not too crazy. Another Reagan show, but hit me with the voice actors, Andrew.
So the voice cast for Inhumanoids is Michael Bell is Augur, Blackthorn Shore, Eddie Agater, and Brother Druid. William Calloway is Liquidator, Nightcrawler, Jonathan Slattery, Dr. Herman Mangler, Dick.
What's some names, man?
See, a hell of a names in these. Dick Gautier is Krygen Pry, George Landsberg, and Magnacor. Ed Gilbert is Metlar and Senator Masterson. Christopher Collins is Decompose, Tendril, Statesman Gonhu, Gargoyle, and Tucker Knight.
Okay.
Neil Ross is Herc Armstrong, Hector Ramirez, Colonel Anatoly Kev, Saber Jet, Slither, and a tank pilot. And finally, Stanley Ralph Ross is Redlin, Red Sun, and a funeral director.
Ooh, a funeral director, eh?
Because there's death in this show.
Lots of it, too.
But it's for kids. Young kids.
Young kids. Tiny kids.
We have, for their other works, we have Michael Bell is Prowl in the Transformers.
Nice.
William Calloway is Beachhead in G.I. Joe.
Okay.
Dick Gautier is Jaime in Get Smart. Maybe that's Jaime.
Tiny.
Ed Gilbert is Blitzwing in the Transformers the movie.
Ooh.
And also Thrust in the regular Transformers.
Okay.
Christopher Collins is Starscream in the Transformers.
A lot of Transformers.
Almost everybody's going to be in the Transformers, just to give you an idea. Neil Ross is the museum narrator in Back to the Future 2. I think we already pointed out he was Bone Crusher in Transformers. That's why I wanted to say something different. And finally, Stanley Ralph Ross is Jackie Joey in the movie Monster Squad.
Ooh, love Monster Squad.
Good movie, Monster Squad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come out right in the gate swinging, Joel, at this show.
Yes.
First five episodes are the most interesting. The rest of them are very boring.
Watch the movie, because that's why I watched.
Yeah, the movie. The movie's the most interesting part. The rest of the series is very boring and kind of an afterthought. Like,
yeah.
This thing has, okay, so this show has like political espionage.
Yep.
There's a whole military aspect. We mentioned the Earth Core earlier. There are good mutants called the Mutors. I think that's how you pronounce it. How did they say it? I think it's the Mutars.
Mutors.
And they help the humans fight the Inhumanoids.
Yes. It's like what? Like tree people and rock people.
Tree people, rock people, and magnet people. Magnet people are doing the heavy lifting. The brothers that have imprisoned Metlar in the center of the earth, which they go to. So big up to the engineer of those suits the Earth Core wear, because they can survive the gravity and heat of the core of the Earth.
There was one part in the movie, I had to stop, rewind it, because I was like, did I hear this correctly? Because they talk about traveling to the Earth's core, and they are literally, there's a giant hole, and they're just lowering a rope, and they're like, it's gonna be 1,500 miles to the center of the Earth. And I'm like, and you're going there on foot?
Well, it's
like,
just all the way down.
I'm like, how long is this rope? 1,500
That's a trip to the hardware store I'd like to see.
I'm going to need 1,500 miles of rope.
Excuse me, son. How long of a rope did you say you needed again?
1,500 miles, so.
We might have to call another store for that one. We might have to double order.
Yeah, it's going to take us 2 weeks to get that here. God.
I like to think that they got a very, you know how you go to the hardware store and there's always that smug guy who helps people. He's like, I wouldn't go with that rope if I was going to the center of the earth. But that's just me. That's just me. I just work here, man. That's just me, you know?
I just work here. You're going to need a strong, a strong, durable rope. That's not
I'm just saying, if I were to do it, I would get this rope. It's more expensive by the mile. But, can you put a price on quality? You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
That's what I want. I just want a filler episode of just that.
They have to go to the hardware store for rope.
Just like, hey, we need 1,500 miles. But
I don't like going to that hardware store. That guy, he's always trying to upsell something. You think he works? Everything. You think he gets fucking commission on the rope, right? I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, he's just always in my business.
Also, the Senator Blackthorn, his plans, very bad plan.
He wasn't. Blackthorn wasn't a senator. He was just the owner of a company. But
Oh,
he
was
had.
he? Oh, he had a senator in his pocket. That's right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. And he's still super bad plan, which was to use magnets from his suit that he thought were better than the magnets from a creature whose whole thing is being magnets. And he's like, I'm going to use this to control you. That immediately backfires. And I think like he loses through the series after the movies, he loses all credibility or threateningness. Like he's just the Inhumans bitch for like the rest of the season. Like they're just like, feed him to this weird crocodile thing.
It happens so quickly too, because he's like, my master plan, and then he just fails miserably.
It's like a whole buildup of the movie. This is like part 4.
Yeah,
I think if you're watching it like by the episode, it's like he's like this buildup of the big bats, and the Earth Core can't touch him because he's just behind all these like political layers. But then the Inhumanoids show up, and they're not into politics. They don't fucking know the 3 branches of government. And why would they fucking care? One of them's a zombie dinosaur, and the other one's made of plants, I think. They immediately just unravel his plan. They're like, we're not gonna fucking listen to you. You have magnet hands. I don't care.
They literally just make them no bitch. They're like, you're gonna be our human slave now.
So Decompose is the coolest one, right?
Yep.
I'm not. He's the zombie dinosaur. Even his action figure is the coolest one because he has the open up rib cage, and if he touches you, you die or mutate or something. Because he does it to that lady.
He does.
It's not even a hard touch.
People.
It's just he just boops the snoot, and she's fucking dead.
If he touches you, then you basically just become a zombie.
You become his zombie slave.
Yep.
I was like, they could have just made him. It's like, why is he not the main villain? He's way cooler than...
Could he just, like, touch the drinking water and infect everybody that way?
I don't know. I don't know how his powers work in that regard. Because the Mutars, if he touches them, they just die. But if he touches a human, because he touches that lady in the movie, and she becomes a Iron Maiden album cover.
Yep.
And then they save her
by the sun.
He does have a very bad weakness, which is sunlight, which is everywhere. So it's a little bit of a big Achilles heel.
You always know when he's going to be attacking at night.
Yeah, it's definitely. The scientists say that the moon's glow is just a reflection of the sun. So technically, moonlight should also take him down.
So what you're telling me is
he's useless unless it's a cloudy. It's got to be a cloudy night.
A cloudy night or a new moon where you don't.
He's definitely looking at the waning cycle of the moon.
He's
that motherfucker waxing. He is not out. And then Tendril, he's just a dumb beast.
His look reminded me of like a Swamp Thing, like the.
Oh yeah, he definitely looks like Man Thing. I think you're thinking of Man Thing.
Man Thing, yeah. I mean, they
Man Thing, Swamp Thing, Man Thing, same fucking thing.
Exactly.
Leafy green guy.
But yeah, I feel like out of all the Inhumanoids, he's like the bottom bitch. I feel like he is the weakest.
Yeah, until Blackthorn came around, he was probably pretty relieved about that. Like,
he's like, finally, now I've got somebody.
I don't have to get the giant coffee anymore. I also like that they were all giant. They were all not kaiju size, just big.
And the action figures for them were also big.
Like
that's 14 inches.
That's a huge win sell point wise for me, because like it always sucks to get a tiny Godzilla. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, this is not the King of the Monsters that I feel like was advertised.
Yeah, I
when-
want to.
when I bought this. Or
I
got
want
this
to
for
put
me.
my little human action figure beside them and be like what I see on TV.
I imagine these things were also pretty expensive
Oh,
because there's a
probably.
lot of detail that goes into these things. They have moving appendages and parts. I know decompose. You could put like little henchmen in his rib cage because he was big enough to hold other stuff, and he had that pocket.
I never. Okay. Maybe I'm asking too much from a cartoon here. But, like, I get they wanted to make him look like the toys, so they had his rib cage open up.
Oh yeah,
But, like,
yeah.
in the cartoon, he would do that to some people, like, grab them and put them in his rib cage, but it's like nothing would happen. They're just in
Yeah,
there.
it was weird. He had to touch you, but if you go in him, you don't turn. Feel like it would that would also do it.
Yeah, I feel like there should be an element where, like, if you're inside of him for more than, like, 10 minutes, you know, then you will turn into a zombie or, you know, something like that. Make it more dramatic when he would capture somebody and put him inside his chest.
He was definitely the Starscream though of
Oh,
the
yeah.
three,
Yep.
but without the without the betraying aspect of him, of Starscream, because he was definitely like loyal to Metlar, but it was like he would turn on him the minute he was in any kind of danger.
Yep.
He was like if Starscream didn't want leadership and was an absolute pussy,
Oh, yeah.
because like he's the most pussy
He is.
out of all three of them. Like Metlar is ready to kill the human race from the get-go. He figures them, he learns about them in 5 minutes. He's just like, I don't fucking want them up there.
We gotta kill him.
We gotta kill them all. I don't want, it's like, I want the planet. I don't care if anyone's on it, really. That
I
wasn't
just
my
want the
goal.
planet. Yep, just want the planet. That's
I
it.
just want the planet. And then Tendrils just, So, that's that. I mean, that's the noises he made. Some of the voice work in this show is absolutely ridiculous. There was one episode I watched. What was it? It was called The Evil Eye.
Okay.
And it looks like a Metroid boss. He's it's the boss I'm thinking of is like from Super Metroid. I think his name is he's in the lava world. He's not a major one. That's not important. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, when he is on the scene, it's just a guy with like, I guess, water in his mouth, and he's roaring and gargling with the water. So he's like, and I'm like, this is very odd. That, like, kudos to them for not using any sound effect whatsoever to do a roar for any of these monsters.
I know.
It's just a guy going like,
They just went to the voice actor. It's like, here's your monster, figure it out.
yeah, here's the monster of the week. You have approximately 5 seconds to figure out how to do the voice for him. Do you have any Listerine on hand? So, there were 3 comics. Well, 2 comics, but 1 almost comic. So you have the Marvel run in 1987. That one's just,
Yeah.
it's run of the mill. There was a 2009 one, canceled series that was, Kevin Smith was rumored to be behind a reboot with George Pratt doing art. And then in 2020, IDW Publishing did a mini series, but I mean, it was like Rom Dire Wraiths.
I
And
did.
it only really references Inhumanoids, like the Earth Core,
I
but it's
saw.
renamed Adventure Team 1.
I saw there was a some comic that was released, I think, at like the New York Comic-Con or something like that. But this comic basically was like building the Hasbro universe, so like, you know, the G.I. Joe, stuff like that. And they didn't have the Inhumanoids, but they basically had... It's like they had the Inhumanoids, but they didn't call them the Inhumanoids. They called them something else. Apparently there was this like copyright thing where they actually lost the right for Inhumanoids.
Okay.
You know, people believe that Marvel acquired that right just so people wouldn't confuse Inhumanoids with the Inhumans.
The Inhumans. What a waste of time that is, because nobody likes the Inhumans. Damn, it's like the only time the Inhumans were relevant is when Disney still didn't had acquired Fox, and they couldn't use the X-Men, so they tried to make the Inhumans relevant, and they made that god awful Inhumans series on ABC that like no one watched.
It's because it was on ABC. Why you... Yeah, why? Why did they even decide to make this like a like Wednesday night ABC show? It makes no sense.
It's because Disney owns ABC.
Yeah. So
all like the garbage that you don't like about Marvel goes there, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Inhumans. I'm sure something else will show up there soon.
Yep.
But I feel like it's time for your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that burn bright like the center of the earth, and reviews that are downright inhuman.
Ooh, that's good, Andrew.
Thank you.
So, Andrew, I'm just going to read one review. It's actually a 5 out of 10. I couldn't find a 1 or a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
They were, again, 9s and 8s, but people ramble, like, for way too long. So this is a 5 out of 10, titled, Pretty Scary for Kids Back Then. Inhumanoids was pretty cool back in 1986, but would probably look dated now. The decomposed character and his power of controlling the undead kind of scared the shit out of me back then, and I wondered if this was really supposed to be aimed at kids. I think I'll be able to handle it now, but whenever he touched a live person and turned them into a zombie, you would hear this weird womanly wail, and it would send chills up my spine. And I thought Lucio Fulci's zombie movies were scary. I don't think I'd get this show on DVD if Decomposed did exist. I have a long list of annoying celebrities I'll be glad to give him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a 5 out of 10. I don't know.
Do you feel like the Earth core looked like Warhammer 40K models? Like very Wish.com versions of them? It did to me. That's what they look like to me.
I could see it. Now that
or
you
Timu,
mentioned that.
As a more recent reference to off-brand ordering things.
I bought this 40K figurine from Timu.
Yeah, it ended up being the Earth core and humanoids. Absolutely.
But no, I would say that's a pretty close resemblance.
Yep. So I believe that wraps up the Inhumanoids.
Yeah.
You got any closing thoughts?
Check out just watch the movie.
Just watch the movie.
I mean, it's like
the rest of the series is garbage.
It is
as far as I'm concerned.
A long movie. I think like hour and a half.
It's a trek for sure.
But it is jam-packed with just nonstop action.
Because each episode was like 6 minutes. I think we covered this on robotics. Like once you go back and learn that these were like 6 to 15 minute interval things, you're like, oh, that explains a lot about the pacing of this thing. But I enjoyed the movie, and then when they made the series, I feel like they really dropped the ball.
It was a very, like, I could see where they wanted to build this world in the story. The movie, I felt like, did a pretty good job. I mean, it was interesting. But yeah, it's a cartoon for kids. You can only go so far. It's one of those shows, like, if this was made today and aimed for a more mature audience, like, let's say, like, the Castlevania anime on Netflix.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Make it like...
Actually, I was thinking a live-action movie would be pretty solid.
Oh,
Kaijus are hot right now.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome. Fix up the Earth core, like...
Give them a better name.
Better name, better armor. I didn't care about their armor that much.
I didn't care about them at all.
No.
They are the most unnecessary people in that whole thing. And like anything that involves big monsters, the human aspect is always like the least interesting. No matter what you do with them, nobody wants to see them. You just want to see the big monsters fight. I understand that you have to fill time somehow, but this was a child's program. You could have just had big monster fights, 22 minutes. This thing would have went gangbusters for sure.
Yeah.
But they decided to make this human drama that no one gives a fuck about.
They could have just basically done Godzilla. Got a good monster and a bad monster, and just had
absolutely.
them fight.
But even Godzilla has the boring human elements in it. It's gotten better over the years, but still, at the same time, you're just like, I don't really need to see Billy Bobby Brown or whatever the hell Stranger Things chick name is. I just want to see Godzilla fight.
Look, we get it. Godzilla's this radioactive thing. The world's going to end. Let's just get it on.
I get the fucking metaphor, all right? Make them fight.
That should be the next Godzilla movie. It's just 90 minutes of nonstop fight.
That would rule. That's Forbidden Kingdom or New Kingdom or whatever, the new Godzilla versus Kong movie. That's what the guy said. He's like, the humans are barely in it. And I'm like, I've never been more fucking excited.
I'm thrilled. Let's go.
But I believe that wraps up the Inhumanoids.
Inhumanoids.
Inhumanoids. If you would like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have a $5 tier that gets you access to our Discord, stickers and pins delivered right to your door, maybe even soon keychains.
Ooh.
Bonus episodes and our regular episodes ad-free and with extended audio. We have a X handle CartoonDD. We have a website, the best place to send your requests, cartoondumpsterdive.com. There you can also go to a store, buy a shirt if you want. We have a Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, all Cartoon Dumpster Dive. And as always, we thank you for a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice, so we don't have to look for the evil that lies within another show that we would have to do. Have a great rest of your week.
See you.
That can be fun for him.
They can hear me eat my peanut butter snack.
Ooh, what kind of peanut butter snack?
Oh, it's just like peanut butter in a tortilla wrap.
Oh, nice. A peanut butter taco.
Yeah, basically. But it's extra crunchy peanut butter.
Ooh.
This has been a Lug Hole Podcast.